Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Friday the 13th edition of Breakfast with Boom. I am your host, Mr. Boomstick XL, and as you can see by the title screen, we are going to be celebrating the entire show, or dedicating, I should say, the entire show to celebrating the PlayStation 5 that launched yesterday. Yes, that's right, folks. We are finally past the finish line into the next generation, and Tuesday saw the launch of the Series X and S, and we saw on Thursday Sony follow suit with their PlayStation 5, both the physical and digital edition. Hopefully, people were able to get their hands on it that wanted it, and people that didn't, hopefully, will somehow find a way to get it. There's been a lot of horror stories about people not getting their consoles from Walmart and consoles from Amazon, and that is, of course, terrible. There's nothing worse than expecting a launch and being told via email, "Oh, sorry, we made a boo-boo." And hopefully we won't get a lot of people with those terrible stories. But let's get in, as we wait in for the other two gentlemen to get here. Let's get into, of course, the introduction so we can start on the bites and bits section of the show. And then we're going to get right into our PlayStation 5 impressions. We're going to be talking about the controller. We're going to be talking about the look of the console. We're going to be talking about if it sounds loud or not. Is it overheating? What our thoughts are on the 5 launch games. And I say that as meaning that, sure, there are more than 5 launch games, but I'm talking about Sony's first party. And that, of course, includes Astrobot, that includes Demon Souls, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Bug Snacks, and Sackboy, yes, which I was playing a little while ago, actually quite enjoying. And we're going to get our opinions on those games. Smaller titles for sure, but still first-party helpings. And like I said, we'll get into our thoughts and theories of where Sony goes from here and how long it's going to take them to get there. But let's start with Joe. Yesterday, Mr. Bedbit, it was like your Christmas. Not only, though, did you get the series, the PlayStation 5, you also got your Xbox as well. So we understand that the PlayStation took precedence because you are a part of the PlayStation Nation. How was your day, and welcome to the show?
Man, yesterday, first off, I'm happy to be here. I'm also still delirious because of the lack of sleep. Yesterday, I literally, like 2 nights ago, I had, I think, like 4 hours of sleep, and like it's not like I even entered REM. It's like I was just constantly thinking about the PlayStation 5, getting overly excited about it. But yeah, like yesterday was my Christmas because, gang, I got an Xbox Series X. Then I opened my brother's PlayStation 5, and then I got my PlayStation 5.
Nice.
So it's been a real treat today, or last 2 days rather.
Well, I mean, again, very exciting time for gamers across the world, regardless of what platform you're on. Obviously, nothing new to speak about with Nintendo other than the new Zelda game coming out on the 20th, which I will be buying. But in regards to hardware, we are very fortunate, at least if you are in the market for new hardware, if you were able to acquire said new hardware. Now, whether that be the Series X, S, or the PlayStation 5 digital or physical edition. But let's continue with the introductions. Next up, Dreadpool. First of all, brother, thank you so much for being here. Were you able to get your hands on a PlayStation 5?
No, I was not.
Okay, that's very unfortunate. Now, did you want a PlayStation 5?
Who wouldn't? I mean, you're a gamer, right? You want games and you want the consoles. So yeah, I decided I was going to hold off for the launch game, consoles. I was going to wait till next year. So
okay.
I lucked out, kind of, if you could say it that way, but I missed out.
Okay. I mean, listen, obviously, there's a lot of reasons why people are looking to pass. I will say this, unless you need new hardware, unless you want to see some of these games running in speeds that a normal console gamer is not used to, you logistically could wait on these consoles. I mean, both of them have titles. I mean, right now, the only one that has games that you can only find on the PlayStation 5 is Bug Snacks, which looks like a PlayStation 4. We're going to get into a PlayStation 4 game. We're going to get into what that game's all about. And Demon Souls, which is fantastic. Blue Point has done it again. I just put out a tweet the other just a few minutes ago before we went live, about that particular topic. And also, if Spider-Man, I mean, listen, it is what it is. It's an amazing game. I'm absolutely loving it. I need to spend a good solid 3 or 4 hours with that game to really, really start enjoying it. Right now, I just beat the Rhino, and the opening was just fantastic. Again, that you can play on your PlayStation 4, and very similar to many games on the Xbox side of the conversation. Many of those games are playable on your current Xbox One S and X. So if you didn't get a console because you were waiting, it's perfectly understandable. There are a lot of games to buy, and regardless of where you're playing, I think your backlog is going to grow substantially. But next up, one of our very special guests of today, all the way from the south of Canada. You know him as Arnold. I know him as Noof Nukem. Welcome to the program there, dude.
Boom, boom, fizzle, and wah, wah, wah. All right, it's good to be here. Boom, thanks for having me, man. To answer your question in advance, guess what? Well, I'm still waiting on my Series X. It is stuck in limbo now.
Oh, boy.
5 kilometers away from me in my hometown, and I hope to God it gets here today. The delivery service up here just drives me absolutely crazy, man. It's been just, the machine has spent more time just getting, it goes through about 50 different hands before the friggin' thing makes it to your door. It just drives me absolutely bonkers. Got to get registered here, registered here, registered here. You know what I mean? It's just asinine. As far as PlayStation, man, this is the PlayStation Day. This is what the show is all about. I kind of wanted one, actually, when I originally was thinking about next gen. I was actually leaning on the PlayStation 5. Largely because Xbox hadn't really shown me a lot of reasons to kind of go all in on the Series X, basically. But somewhere along the line, I just kind of went out on a whim, and it was kind of a spur of the moment thing with the Series X, and I managed to secure one. And then I was like, well, now I really don't have money for the PlayStation 5, and I also splurged $400 on an Oculus Quest 2 a couple of weeks back, so that really set me up as well. So there you go. That's it in a nutshell. But it's still an exciting time to be a PlayStation gamer. I'm super excited and super happy to see all the pictures that people are posting. I know lots of people are up in their windows like an old pervert, just hanging out for the UPS and stuff.
That was me, dude. That was that guy.
And it was fun to see, man. I really enjoying all the videos, the unboxings, and people just all in their glory. It's Christmas, and it's only in the middle of November, so good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a fun time to be a gamer. It's a fun time if you want to. And here's the thing: see, there are so many games that are currently out that even if you just didn't have the money to upgrade to a new console, and you're a current console owner, whether that be the Series X, the Xbox One X, or the PlayStation 4 Pro, or even the base models, you're still going to find something that you want to play. Mm-hmm. And I think that is really what it comes down to. The spirit of the holidays, for at least me, and this is just my opinion, has always surrounded itself around gaming. Some of my most fondest memories during the holidays, or even the lead up to the holidays, has been around gaming. And I think that, again, I know a lot of people want these consoles because of the world that we're currently living in the COVID world. A lot of people are not going to get these consoles. Now, we do know, and I have good authority, that if you are still looking for these consoles closer to Black Friday, I implore you to be in front of your favorite GameStop hours before they open on Black Friday. Because from what I've heard and what I've been told, and I have this again on good authority, they're going to have double-digit units available for walk-ins. And that's for both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox. Now, I can't break down how many S's and how many X's they're going to have, or how many digitals versus physicals they're going to have. But I do have it on good authority that they are going to have double-digit walk-in PlayStation 5s and Xbox consoles. So if you are one of these folks that really, really want one and you missed out, I'm just giving you the heads up now to be in front of your favorite GameStop early, potentially 3, 4, 5 hours early, and wait for them to open. The best thing I could say is to get in front of your manager, and if you have a relationship with him or her, get the skinny on it. Get the information, talk with them. Again, I have a fantastic relationship with all of my staff. As a matter of fact, I have most of their cells, and we talk all the time because obviously I'm in my particular GameStop more often than not. So if you do have a relationship, reach out to him or her, find out what they're going to have. And even if they can't potentially hold one for you, make sure, again, folks, this is where the dedication aspect of gaming comes in. If you really want said console, you will find a way to be out there for 5 hours. I've done it. As a matter of fact, I did it for 4 hours and I got an S. And I was not happy that much, to be honest with you, but I got one console, and thankfully enough, I was able to get to live on the air and get one from the Microsoft store, which of course was confirmed. But let's
you see, my from what I understand, when it comes to Black Friday, again, I'm hearing they're only having 2.
Oh, okay.
Only 2. That it's
Wow.
Yeah, because not just the production, but getting these consoles out, these companies are doing everything they can.
Yes.
So like all these mistakes you're seeing, it is because of the current situation we're in. So like they're all scrambling. They've never seen anything like this already on top of, the COVID mess. So yeah, it's going to be kind of mayhem for the next coming weeks.
But I have a point on that, though. Like, that's just it. Like, I get it. The COVID has driven video game demands. If you say in the latest NPD numbers or whatever, things are up like they haven't seen or climbed like this in many years. Like, everybody is up dramatically. Demand is crazy. Games are crazy. But that's my point. Because of COVID, then perhaps, like I said, you transition everything to online, and that's a pain in the butt itself. Or just don't do it at the stores. Because, honestly, I don't think it's worth pissing off so many consumers to go to your store, wait out in the cold, and then go, sorry guys, we only have 3 or 4, and there's 20 or 30 people waiting outside. Like, that's a bad look altogether. So I think they should just not even do it. Like, this year, Black Friday should just not happen, or happen just online only.
I think that's what you're seeing a lot of retailers choose. A lot of them are like, they're like, I forget who, I think maybe Walmart or Target. It's like, there's no Black Friday this year.
No, there, and thank God there isn't.
Exactly. And so, like, you're seeing retailers instead doing month-long Black Friday events online.
Right.
So, you're going to see the retail shift dramatically to online. And that's going to suck if you're trying to get in a series or a PlayStation, because you're dealing with scalpers. Because I saw yesterday, one guy's like, F your feelings. And it's a stack of PlayStation 5.
That's gross.
To the ceiling. I'm like,
you're
listen, gross.
I get it. Here's a perfect example of that, Joe. A good friend of the show, a DJ Birdo DOS. He drops an outstanding $5 super chat, the first of the day. So DJ, first of all, thank you for your generosity. Thank you for being here. But more importantly, thank you for sharing this comment. He says, boom, I did something bad. I got my Series X from a scalper for $800 on Tuesday because I couldn't get my hands on one and I did not want to wait. See, so it's real.
Yeah.
And you know something? Look, I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I paid high prices for like a statue that I wanted, or a controller that I knew that I missed out on, but I wound up spending, $50, $60, $70, $80, even $100 more. And you're like, God damn it, but I really want this.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad, dude. I mean, listen, you pay $250 more.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. If you're enjoying it and you're playing it where, you're really, really enjoying, your console, then listen, it's worth every penny. Figure out overtime or figure out to sell something to make the back end money that you spent, but at least you got it. And sometimes we do spend the money on things that we knew is only priced at, price A, and we wanted to paying price D because we really want said product. So look, don't feel bad, brother. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your generosity, and enjoy the shit out of your new console. And that's really all that matters. But I do want to get to one of the first bits and bites of the show. And first of all, let me welcome, of course, BitCloud. BitCloud, welcome to the program there, brother. Okay.
What's up, man? What
Hey,
up?
hey, all right. You're here, brother. Welcome to the program. I'm glad that you're here, man. This is a PlayStation Nation kind of a day, and it would feel kind of weird without you. So I'm glad that you were able to make it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I had to pry myself from the damn console yesterday. I was like, shit.
Yeah. I got a chance to play everything except for the Astrobot, which I'm going to play after the show. I got a few things, but I got my hands on. And surprisingly enough, I did not die in Demon Souls yet. Holy
I'm
shit,
shocked though. A lot more people went to Demon Souls first before they touched Spider-Man. I went
No,
straight
I
to
didn't.
Spider-Man.
I went to Spider-Man immediately. There was no question. There was no doubt or question of what I was playing first. But
I don't know if you got into first impressions yet, but let me tell
No.
you, when that game fired up, oh my god.
yeah, it's a stroke of genius. It's another reason why the acquisition of Insomniac just made sense. One of the best moves Sony made. Now, was that this year or was that last year?
Last year. They got
Okay, it was last year. Okay, because this year has been a bit of a blur, but we actually have not gotten to any of the topics. We're kind of just, walking the walk. And now that you're here, we're going to get into the first bits and bytes. Look, I look. There are a lot of things that we talk about when you talk about Xbox, right? So the first thing that comes to mind is, and usually it's the lead conversation. It's what you get for your dollar. It's what you get with Xbox Game Pass. And we know that for $15 a month, you get over 200 games. And then now with, of course, EA Play being added to the mix, you get another 70 titles. Well, we have to talk about Sony for a second because the PlayStation Plus collection, I don't believe anyone is talking about. And I think that is a disservice to Sony. I think it's a disservice to the PlayStation brand. More importantly, I think it's a disservice to the fans. Now, again, I talk about topics that I want to talk about because it's my fucking show. But with that said, I talk about topics that I think that get me excited, that I believe would get the fan base excited. And this is a particular topic that no one in the gaming industry is talking about, and I thought it would be a great way to open the show. Now, the PlayStation Plus collection, if you don't know what it is something that's available to all PlayStation Plus subscribers from the very moment the PlayStation 5 was released. And currently, it has in its collection 20 of the best PlayStation 4 games that are available to date. And I got to tell you, I mean, look, there are only 20 in here, and they're saying they're going to be adding more. But I want to read off the list, folks, because like I said, if you are new to PlayStation, like for instance,
just like an epic like smorgasbord, basically. For
it really is. A person like Zemi Games, once he gets his PlayStation 5, he is someone that originally had a PlayStation 4, sold it for whatever reason, and has been waiting patiently for the PlayStation 5 to release to play many of these games that we have already played through, beaten, and potentially platinumed, right? But here is the list of the games. And folks, this is a stout list. And it's a list that I again, worthy of a conversation in my personal opinion. It starts off, and I'm going to read it in letter order. Batman Arkham Knight, fantastic game. Battlefield 1, another fantastic game. Bloodborne, Joe, you're happy to hear this, game of the generation for many.
It's been confirmed. Yes, it is game of the generation, no doubt.
Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Days Gone, which just got a massive patch.
A massive 60 FPS lock patch, which is like ridiculous. Finally, that's we needed that. They needed that. And that's
no doubt about it. Detroit Become Human, another absolutely fan-freaking-tastic game. Okay, folks, now we get into the real weeds of things. Depending on who you like or you don't like, Fallout 4, great title. Final Fantasy 15, God of War, Infamous Second Son, Monster Hunter World, Mortal Kombat X, Persona 5, Ratchet and Clank, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, The Last Guardian, The Last of Us Remastered, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, and Until Dawn. Now, folks, listen. maybe these games aren't ringing your alarm bell, which I would have to say I don't know why. Every one of these games, there are a few that I don't care for. I tried Persona, just not my type of game. Final Fantasy 15, little cringeworthy, couldn't get through it. But just about every other game, I think here is a banger. And you're getting some of them are getting, graphical advancements. Not all of them, because I can't confirm or deny if every one of these games is getting, a boost or being taken advantage of the boost mode. But I know that some are. God of War being one of them. Ratchet and Clank is getting some advancements. Infamous Second Son, I believe, is getting it. Days Gone got a massive one. I mean, that game was like sloshing through mud. Even though I played through it.
Everybody who's played it on PS5 is saying it's a completely different game.
Completely different game. Yeah, that is the running rumor.
I have it on the console right now. I'm checking out God of War because I hear they have haptic feedback on God of War.
Nice.
Oh, for the hammer?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, for the axe.
Yeah. So I'm testing this out right now. I gotta see if it's true.
Let's go to you first, Joe. Look, for a lot of people that may be buying a PlayStation for the first time or potentially missed out on the last generation, what are your thoughts on the value? Because I know that again that is one of the words that we talk about a lot with Xbox, but this is a particular aspect where I think that we have to bring PlayStation into the conversation. Now, granted, this is not Xbox Game Pass, but these games you're getting for your yearly subscription of PlayStation Plus, which is only $60. So $60, a one-time fee of $60. You're getting your monthly games, which we're going to talk about that in a second, and what PlayStation had to say about how that's going to work moving forward. But to get these 20 games right out of the gate, if you don't have money for games, and this is what you had to play, this is not a bad list.
No, this is a fantastic list. This has a lot of value for someone who is maybe like Zemi, who walked out on PlayStation last generation looking to come back in with this one. It's an amazing list. Like God of War alone on there is fan freaking tastic. A Bloodborne game of the generation, and seeing so many of them. From what I understand, if these games have unlocked frames, they will all be playing on 60 at 60. Unfortunately, Bloodborne doesn't have uncapped frames, so From would have to do an update to allow that to happen. And we know it's possible. So From Software, what are you doing? What's Phil Spencer trying to pay you to stop this? I'll double it, triple it. I'm really happy that I'm like Days Gone is a game that I not skipped out on. I beat it. I just wasn't that much of a fan of it because of the performance and some of the things. So maybe being able to walk back into that game and to experience it, because everybody's saying it is what like. One person's like, you could have fooled me and said this was a PlayStation 5 launch game. Like, it felt that good, it ran that great. So also seeing if have the Leviathan act out. Ooh. if games like God of War take advantage of the haptic feedback like Rumor has, this is awesome. This is an awesome list of games. Like, even for me, I'm not a big like Persona guy either, but I'm going to give that game another shot because it's on this collection for sure.
Yeah, and that's the great part. Again, like many of the games that people are enjoying on the Xbox Series X for advancements like 60 frames per second, very short load times, auto HDR. We do know that that many of the big PlayStation games like God of War are going to receive a boost mode. As a matter of fact, we just had a super chat come in from a very good friend of the show, AJ Harris. He drops an outstanding $2 super chat and says, is God of War 4K 60 FPS on the PlayStation 5? Love the show, Boom. Well, thank you for listening. And I don't know about 4K 60. I know that there's a 60 frames mode. Joe, can you confirm?
I believe it is native 4K 60, but I'm going to double check right here.
There you go.
Yeah.
One more likely.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think when you put it because it gives you 2 modes. I think when you actually put it to performance mode, I think that's what Santa Monica said.
Just to give you that performance increase.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Well, listen, the game was gorgeous already on the PlayStation 4 Pro. I can only imagine what it looks like on the PlayStation 5. Big Cloud, let's get your opinion on this. This is a bit of a stout list, and again, to Sony's credit, who has notoriously charged their fans for HD remakes. They could have easily done that, but instead they added value to PlayStation Plus beyond the games that you get monthly. And I think that this is a fantastic way to start the generation, allowing that potentially new PlayStation owners to get their hands on the console. But if they jump into PlayStation Plus, being able to download 20 of the again, according to Sony, because I wouldn't agree that every one of these are the best, but they are some of the biggest titles that they've had released during this generation. What are your thoughts on this, dude?
So before I even comment on this, I got to be honest, right? This has got to probably be one of the cooler weeks in gaming that we've had for a while. I mean, everybody was just happy. I don't know if y'all noticed Twitter. Everybody was just happy. Nobody was going after each other over this stuff. Everybody was just talking. Everybody's excited for the next gen, even from the Series X going back to yesterday for PS5. So it's just been a really cool, week in general for both sides. Now, I don't know how long this is going to last, but honestly, that should be the staple.
That's at the end of the weekend. That's a fantastic point
of the week.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point. I wish it would stay like that.
It's fantastic to see people not arguing over dumb stuff, right? No ridiculous conspiracy, just everybody happy.
Hey, they've already given up on their games, man, and they're hard at work at building an Xbox Series X versus PlayStation 5 videos right now. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. Everybody was just happy. I was like, damn, am I in the Twilight Zone? Everybody's talking about games. Have fun. Okay, cool. But I had to get that out. To go to this actual feature, listen, I'm glad they've done this. This is a cool approach to get more games out there. And I already saw the benefits of this, because for some odd reason, I could not find my Bloodborne game at all. It was nowhere near my house, and it was on the damn list. And what's cool about it, you can add this to your library now, and it's very tied to your account, like they did for PS4. So all your library does carry over from PS4 to 5, which is smart. Again, it's cool. I like they're doing this, and they're adding more to it to give more people out there chances to play games that they probably didn't give a chance to last gen. And when you're offering numerous modes this time around with performance increases, I mean, you can't really miss out on anything. Like, here's an example. I am a guy who's been on my PC. I'm no slouch to this. I've shown this numerous times, even on the channel. The fact that even as someone who prefers performance, has played Miles Morales in fidelity more, because I wanted to see the ray tracing and everything. And I did this not because, testing or anything. I did that because I can just simply do that on the fly. Like, those stuff like that is such a big thing for everybody, where you just have the option of playing it how you specifically want to do it. That's the beauty of this. So it's cool. I really do like this.
Yeah, me too. Real quick, a perfect example of what I said before. AJ Harris drops a comment in here, and I want to read it because I think it's important people to understand exactly what I was saying. He says, "At Mr. Boomstick XL, first time PlayStation owner, and already downloaded 7 games with PlayStation Plus. The only game that I paid for so far was Godfall." See, and there you go. That's exactly my point. If you are new to PlayStation, the same way I talk about if you're new to Xbox, they give you, for a power price of $15, obviously for Microsoft, or $60 for the year of PlayStation Plus, you get these 20 games, and yes, you can download all of them. Obviously, one of the little setbacks that we're going to talk about later on is the memory issue, and how Sony is going to address that, hopefully much sooner than later.
I do want to get this out here too. I don't know if y'all noticed the improvements to PSN as well with this.
Oh, yes, 100%. Yeah.
Oh my God, downloads and uploads are insane. Right now on this console. Like, this console downloaded, I think it was like 5 games from my system right now, and it did it in less than like 2 hours.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great point because one of the biggest, I suppose you can call it thorns in the side of PlayStation has been how dreadfully long it is to download a game. Sometimes upwards of 4 and 5 hours, which is outrageous. But yes, I was able to download games very, very quickly. But again, we're going to get into that in a minute. But let's, Dreadpool, let's get into your opinion about this. Now, again, I don't necessarily know, how many of the PlayStation 5 games in here you've played. But when you get a PlayStation 5, these games should be made available and potentially they're going to be adding to this list. This is not a bad deal, especially when you find these PlayStation Plus subscriptions for the year on sale. I picked up one for $34, folks. That was a while back, but whenever I see them for under $60, even if they're like $40, I jump on it because it's still saving $20, but I try to get them for, 32, 33. And if you follow, and here's the other thing, and I'll throw this out there for everybody. If you are new to Twitter, I want to focus your attention onto Wario64. I say that because not only will he post when these deals come up for like PlayStation Plus being $30 at like Newegg or something, but he is the guy you want to follow and put on with alerts and the alarm bell because he drops massive amounts of information of when these consoles are, when you can get them, and who has them at the moment. So definitely, if you're new, follow Wario64. That guy is 100% legit. But Dreadpool, getting back to you. What are your thoughts on this list of 20 PlayStation, the best of the PlayStation brand games, at least for PlayStation 4, being available for your yearly subscription of PlayStation Plus?
I mean, it's awesome. I mean, you can't beat that. That's, what I mean. Someone for me, you look at it this way. Who's ever missed it? Okay, let's say you were on that fanboy narrative of Xbox is all everything and PlayStation sucks. All right, but now you've grown up and actually became a gamer and looked at it as an adult. You know what I mean? Now those people can look at this and yeah, we had Batman for how long? But guess what? All the first party games are in there. So now you get a chance to play this stuff, So yeah, we can go out and get the discs. We can get them real cheap now. I mean, that was my plan anyway. Was, I'll get those discs even cheaper now that everybody's done with them and they've moved on. They're all talking about the new PlayStation 5 games. Yeah, I'll grab up what I can, And with the whole issue from back, and I know I'm kind of jaded on it, but luckily it didn't really happen to me, but it happened to too many friends where the whole money hacking thing, right? So I didn't want to give them any digital, any money for digital games, So I was literally going to be an all physical copy person for this, but this gives me the benefit of both sides. I don't have to worry about trying to save that money. I'm saving it right now with the PlayStation Plus collection. I'm getting the digital versions of them. I'm able to play. I don't have to worry about anything. So yeah, I mean, this is awesome. And here's the other thing, right? We're talking about, people that missed out last generation. We're forgetting there's a group of people that missed out, not because they were on Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo or anything like that. There's a group of people that missed out because they were just too young. So we got a whole generation coming in. This gives them the opportunity to get caught back up of last generation and see where they were and where we're at now. And with them doing a little extra to that, because if I recall, somebody, I'm hearing that they're putting extra touches on like God of War and some of these other games, so it's not the PlayStation 4 version exactly. It's a little bit more. So that, that's awesome to hear. And for someone else, we're not going back to the PlayStation 1 days playing Siphon Filter with block art, you know what I mean? But they are going to be able to go back and live those games that we lived already and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and again, if you listen, there's also the thing is maybe some of these games that you wouldn't want to spend money on, like Persona 5 might be a game you've heard so much about, but you're like, damn, I don't know if I'm going to drop $50. Even now, it's like still $40. And you're like, damn, I don't know if I'm going to drop $40 in that game. I may not like it. Well, now you can just pay your $30 to $60 a yearly subscription fee for PlayStation Plus and download it for free, and
take that extra dollar that you paid for and just say, okay, that's my rental for this game that I tried.
Pretty much
what we do, so yeah, it gives you that, it opens it up.
Hey Joe, did you see the new pop-ups for like your trophies and everything that you can share?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
records
oh,
the
yeah.
moment. Like that is crazy. Like it does that now. So
I just threw the Leviathan axe, y'all. Yeah, it feels a little different. I wouldn't say it's like, oh my god, whatever, but like it feels nice.
Oh. I keep trying to tell people 60 over 30. Like a lot of people argue, they go 30 is more cinematic. I'm like, guys, try 60 and play at 30. You'll see a difference. I'm telling you.
Seriously, it's 60. Come on.
Yeah,
listen. It's not more filmic. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
I
listen,
mean,
if you want the fidelity, it's there.
I never understood that it's more filmic. 30 frames, guys, play it at 60, a super fast game. Granted, not everybody's gonna be like Naughty Dog, make it super fast like they did Last of Us 2, but it's telling you.
Yeah, I mean, again, personal preference. I love the fact that you're going to get some choice in some of the older games. And again, if maybe you didn't finish God of War, now you get a chance to play it in 60 and finish it there. Nukem, let's get your opinion on this. Obviously, you're still waiting on your Series X, which hopefully comes today. And PlayStation 5. I know that you said you were a little bit on the fence about whether you get it or you don't. But when you look at this deal, when you look at getting PlayStation Plus for $60 for the subscription for the year, and Sony drops these many games, and again, this does not detract from the games they're going to be giving away monthly. This is just an extra bonus. What are your thoughts on this, dude?
Well, this is something that Sony wholeheartedly should promote as much as they can, because it's a great selling additive for people that are new to the PlayStation 5. It's a great PlayStation Plus bonus, because we did see last generation, while we saw the adoption of PlayStation Plus definitely was starting to go up, there was still, if you look at your friends list, there's still an awful lot of people that are riding the basic the subscription for PlayStation. They don't have the Plus, right? And they aren't getting the games with PlayStation Plus, the free ones every month and stuff like that. Some people just kind of, maybe they're afraid to take the plunge or afraid to invest. Not enough games appeal to them. So like you say, when you get this, it takes a lot of that trial and error out. I mean, instead of getting a demo where you just get a small sliver, now you can actively jump into the game. And like I said, this list is almost a list of some of the best games of this generation. Like, this is not like one or two games in there that you go, okay, those are good, but the rest are filler. This is a really great list. I mean, even for me, who probably doesn't play as many games as the rest of the people on this panel overall, because again, I'm a little more limited because I do keep myself to physical. I don't kind of just download games left, right, and center every time there's a sale. But I mean, I've played and beaten the majority of the games on this list. I mean, with the exception of, I'll tell you, the only games on this list that I have not actually tried would be Call of Duty Black Ops 3, because I boycotted that particular game and I refused to play it. I also did not play let's see here, Persona 5. I've heard lots of things about it, but after reading reviews and just seeing some video, it's just like you, Boom, not really my cup of tea. But hey, you know what? Maybe I'd give it a shot. The Last Guardian, I never really got around to that one. It was tempting. I was almost thinking the Shadow Colossus there for a second, but no, The Last Guardian, I don't think I played. And that's about it. The rest of these games are absolutely incredible. Uncharted 4 is in there, A Thief's End, God of War, two of my all-time favorite games this generation. Days Gone, a recent game, is in there. Detroit Become Human, surprise hit there. Batman Arkham Knight is one of those games I think a lot of people kind of passed for some reason. I didn't see a lot of people talk or play this one. I think a lot of people missed out on that game for whatever reason. And so yeah, there's a lot of great games on here. And like I said, it's just an added bonus and a great way to tide people over, because there is going to be a little while before we start to see, games that are built for these new consoles, and coming out on a frequent basis. So I think it's just an amazing thing that they did here. People should applaud it. It's a step in the right direction. I also think it's one of those things that, say, if you are buying one console or the other here over the next little while, and obviously Xbox has that huge attraction point with Game Pass, correct? So now, if this is promoted, people might say, well, all right, well, Game Pass does have several hundred games, but this one has like all these titles, and these games are like synonymous with PlayStation. There's a lot of first party stuff in here and stuff, again, that's not ancient. It's still relevant. A lot of people are still catching up on that. A lot of people are new to the ecosystem, and a lot of people are going to be really new. We can't assume that everybody that buys a PS5 is coming over from PlayStation 4. There's going to be a lot of new adopters, going to be new people for the first time ever getting into the hardware space, and right there, they got a massive list of incredible games right at their fingertips. And again, no really like big extra upfront cost. You're not dropping 40 or 60 bucks a game. You got all those titles, try them out. You don't like them, no harm, no foul, right? So good on Sony. Great list of games, and something that everybody should try out.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, real quick, I don't want to spend a tremendous time on this. I just want to read a statement, because I know people are asking, well, what does PlayStation Plus do? What grant its current members? And like Xbox Live games for Gold, which are usually terrible. PlayStation as well has had some really poor months, but I want to just read a quote from the PlayStation blog confirming what the PlayStation Plus addition to the 20 games that is in that collection, which you're going to get every month. And it says this: PlayStation Plus subscribers will continue to receive at least 2 great, quote unquote, great PS4 games each month for the foreseeable future. Adding to this, Sony notes it's aiming, not confirming, to add PS5 games regularly to the monthly games lineup as well, though for now it's not promising to include PlayStation 5 games or even a single PS5 game per month. Now, we do know in February, the All-Star Racers that was delayed, much like Bug Snacks, which is available now for a free download. And thank God that game was a free download, because damn it, if I would have paid $70 for that game, I would have started a class action lawsuit. But
luckily, only 20 or 25, I think.
Whatever it is, it's worth your weight in gold for free. Again, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into what my thoughts are on Bug Snacks and the rest of the games. But so that's what they're saying. So they're not confirming that there's going to be a PlayStation 5 game every month. But like I said, Bug Snacks for the launch of the PS5 is in there, so you can download it. It gave me very, very similar vibes to Viva Pinata, except with that's what I walked away with it. The only thing I thought was very weird is why they wanted to eat these things and turn their limbs into French fries and shish kebabs. I'm a little perturbed.
It's shish kebiter or whatever.
It's shish kebites or whatever it is. It's odd. It's definitely odd. I don't know why you want to lose a hand for a strawberry, but hey, you know what? Who am I to judge? But listen, I want to get into why people are tuning in, and that's to talk about the PlayStation 5. What our thoughts are now. As the host, normally I do a round robin. And I get the panels first, but I'm going to go first today, and I want to go first with the look of the console, and then we'll get everyone's opinion. I'm going to tell you this right now. I think it's a horrible design. I think the power of it is nice. The design is awful, and I'm going to tell you. This is a direct quote from Mrs. Boom. Now, she wasn't home when I brought it; she was working. I set everything up. It's on it's on the entertainment center. She walks in and she says, the first thing out of her mouth is, "That is ugly." She said, "It looks like the plastic is folding off of it, and the flare that they're going for is not there." She goes, "Look, I'm going to be honest with you. We need to get a new entertainment center. That is an eyesore." And I listen, she's not a gamer. She does play games. Yes, she plays Diablo and stuff like that, but she's not a diehard gamer. And this is someone walking in who does not have any affiliation to a brand, and it's like, it's ugly. And I have to agree with her. I think that the size is egregious. I'm going to tell you that right now. The size, in my opinion, is egregious. I do not like the look of it. I think that it is a bad design. I just don't understand what they were going for and why it couldn't look more like a traditional console. But my God. So listen, again, We're going to break down the controller. We're going to break down the games. We're going to break down the UI. But I want to get the panel's opinion. Joe, I want to get to you first because I know talking privately, you were like, "Yeah, this is a big console." What are your thoughts on the design of this thing?
So, I'm kind of there with you. I don't think it's like the most ugly thing I've ever seen in my life, but I do think the design's flawed in two aspects. First, you're right, Boom. This thing is way too fucking big. Like, I'm gonna show everybody this because I feel like it's worth showing. If you guys can see it, come with me on this journey. Look at that console. I hope you guys can see that.
Yeah,
it's that TV. This is a 60-inch TV. Okay, that's how big this console is. That's too big. I don't care who you are. I really, it's way too large. The design of it. The reason why I think the design's flawed, because I do like the look of it, at least the digital version, but I can't lay it horizontally without this goddamn stand. And I think that is just the biggest. Yeah, that is just the biggest problem. Like the fact that you, like, again, it's not like the biggest thing in the world, but like the fact that you do need a screwdriver in order to put it horizontal, that is a little ridiculous. I very much prefer the Xbox Series X, but luckily I'm not playing this thing for its looks, Right.
And we're going to get into that, folks. I mean, what we're going to, once we're done with the conversation, it's what's going to be under the hood that we're going to be marveling at. Yeah. Again, the outside, not so much. But Big Cloud, what are your thoughts on this design? I mean, are you with us that it's too big? Does it take up too much room? Is it an eyesore?
In terms of eyesore, no, because I have a black and white PC on the right side of me, so it's kind of like, it matches my theme, kind of.
Yeah, same here. I have the Stormtrooper aesthetic.
Yeah, that's what I have going on here. But no, that's not really the issue. When I took it out the box and everything, I was kind of like, my eyes kind of like went big. It's on my stream. You can see my reaction. I was like, holy shit. Like, because it's actually bigger than my regular PS4 because I don't have a Pro. I have a standard PS4. And I was like, God, now I can one hand. Now, obviously, you already know, Joe, you can one hand a PS4 regular because it's so light. This joint, you feel you can do that, but you want to have both hands on this thing because it feels like a legit heavier in a lot of aspects when it comes to that. But in terms of the looks never really bothered me. Again, I like the look. I am a little pissed though that Sony sued that company that was making the side. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who remembers PlayStation 5? Remember, we was talking about that earlier, Joe. They sued them so they couldn't do the custom side plates. If they would have let them go through with that and we could have black side plates on this system, I don't think hardly anybody would be complaining about that. But the size of this is definitely something to take in consideration. And I've seen a lot of people put this horizontally. They put that in their setups, like shout out to Solid Rev. He put it in this old school setup. It does fit, but you guys, if you see the distance from how tall it is to the shelf, it's got like a little bit of like a space to go, to get in there. So it's like, it's definitely got a little weight to it and height. But if you get over that and you just get it on there, I mean, honestly, you're not really going to notice it. You're going to be looking at the games, but it is kind of.
I mean, again, we're going to get into it because obviously the look is not indicative of the function.
Oh, and I want to too, because I said this in the stream. Don't let the pictures you guys see online fool you. It's not crazy big, but it's definitely big though.
Yeah, it's I'll put it this way. It's probably the biggest console I think I've ever owned. Now, again, granted, you want it to be. Sony's design team found it necessary to make sure this thing doesn't overheat. And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. You want this thing to run smooth. You don't want it to run loud. You want the fan to be, big, so it pulls all of the heat away from the electronics. So we don't have jet engine PS5s. We don't want that. So again, the aesthetics not really that good in my opinion. But let's get to Dreadpool now. Dreadpool, I know you don't have a PlayStation 5, but I'm interested to know your opinion on this. I mean, is it too big? Is it an eyesore, or you just don't care?
I think Joseph needs to buy a new house. He doesn't have enough room. No, I mean, it is. Really, once we figure out where its placement's going to be, is it really going to matter? You know what I mean? Because right now it's awkward. People said the same thing about the Series X. You know, it was big, it was awkward, but once you set it in place and you find it's home, I don't think it's gonna be an issue. You know what I mean? It's just something that we're not used to. Okay, and this isn't really the biggest console per cubic square inch. There's another one, I've already mentioned it before, but reality, it is taller or wider depending on how you lay it or stand it. You know, but the aesthetics, it's always looked a little odd, and like Big Cloud has said that, you know, it would have been great to have the flaps interchangeable, so that way you can get a different color. You know, I would have preferred to, you know, have an all black one. You know, now I'm thinking about it when I've seen somebody actually lay it down in their place. I mean, look at
God,
that.
I'm so jealous of your setup. I wish I had something that is like reasonable like that.
Right, my PS1. It towers over the PS4, but that should be a good height reference for you guys. It's not that, you know, insanely big.
And where I have my series, it's literally as tall as my 360 Elite, you know, and it's sitting right next to the PS3. They're all standing right next to each other, and they're all about the same height, you know. And then you go to this, and it's like, holy cow, you know, it just stands out, you know. It, like I said, we're not used to this. It's you know, the first time you're seeing stuff like this, and now it's actually in a house. You're seeing it in actual placement, not where the creators can show you how big it looks, you know, or trying to look, you know, put bigger items to show you how small it looks. You know what I mean? There's no manipulation anymore. It's actually physically in your house. You're looking at it. So now it's you know, the culture shock's there, and you're like, all right, when you get past it, I don't think it's a big deal. And at the same time, you know, I'm thinking, you know, when you lay it down, I guess the foot, it doesn't lock in right.
It doesn't. We're going to get into it right now, because I'm going to tell you this. I am telling you this for an absolute fact, and again, this is just my opinion. Sony pulled Fugazi. That nice, sturdy, you know, snapping, locking stand that they showed in the breakdown is not what came in the box. I have a funny story. I'm gonna tell you in a second. But Noof Nukem, what are your thoughts on the aesthetics of this box? Is it appealing to the eye, or is it something you're like, I want to tuck this some bitch away, as long as it doesn't overheat and I can put my games in and out, I'm good?
Well, let me say, I can't wait to get my hands on my own PS5. I have seen the videos, I've seen the unboxing. I think I have got a very good size, especially after seeing, you know, BitCloud and Mr. Babbitt showing theirs off. I watched BitCloud do his unboxing yesterday. Good stuff, by the way. Size-wise, like they've said in some videos, that's a big bitch. Yeah, it is. She is a big console, but you know what? It's nothing we're not really technically used to, because if we go back and look through the history of our consoles, I mean, look at the original Xbox. That thing was a ginormous, heavy, clunking box back in the time. The original Xbox One, the VCR model, that thing is not exactly small. We've kind of gotten spoiled with consoles over the years, because, you know, we saw various iterations of the consoles, like when, remember when the PlayStation 2 went to the Slim, like, holy, talk about the biggest difference between a base model and a Slim ever. Like, the controller on the PS2 was almost as big as a Slim model. It was crazy how small that thing was. And you got the PS4 Slim now, which is really quite small, very convenient and nice. And the thing is, Sony at least addressed a couple of the issues that obviously became memes over the last 5 or 6 years. You know, Microsoft's had their own share of memes. Sony's had the memes of the jet engine plane and superheat coming out. And, you know, we've seen the videos hundreds of times. So they addressed that. And I mean, a big thing with them too, neither company, and especially Sony, can ill afford to have these things working for a couple of weeks and then basically breaking down due to poor ventilation. So a large part of the size is due to the components and how they have to ventilate that heat. And they're designed very specific in nature. I mean, you know, while the PlayStation is taller, the Xbox is fatter, right? The Xbox Series X doesn't look exactly small, depending on, it looks smaller if you tip it up vertically. When you lay it down flat, I've seen it in some cabinets, and you're like, holy crap, what is that? It looks like the receiver off an old sound system, you know, back in the day. But aesthetically, I think it's a great console. I think it's gorgeous looking. It's kind of, to me, it screams next gen. It screams something different. It doesn't look anything like previous PlayStations. It doesn't look like it's competition. It's something that I think the average person, if they walk in, because a lot of people haven't really seen the PlayStation yet, certainly haven't seen it physically, they're going to walk into your house, they're going to see this thing, and you might get one of two reactions. It really depends. You might get the, whoa, what is that cool looking thing? Or you might get someone that walks in and go, ugh, what the hell is that? And, you know, from the PC guys' perspective, and a lot of you guys have really nice PCs, look how big those things have been for the eternity, right? Like if you buy a really good gaming PC right now, it isn't coming in a small box the size of the Xbox One X. It's coming in a giant, you know, cabinet for the most part, with tons of ventilation. And like, it's a technical marvel when we think about how much is inside of each box that they've crammed into it, especially when we saw the breakdown of the Xbox Series X. That was phenomenal. Those guys got some crazy ass geniuses over there, let me tell you, to be able to pack it all into that one convenient thing. I mean, you know, like I said, man, aesthetically, I think it's a nice looking console. I might be on the different side of things. I love the controller. I think they knocked it out of the park. I also like the fact that it has the two-tone aesthetic. The white on the black is a nice contrast, which I also like with my Xbox One X Gears of War edition. It just looks phenomenal. It doesn't, you know, white and black is always classic. You know what I mean? Any other colors can be hit or miss depending on your setups and all that stuff. You know what I mean? But I think it looks good. Hopefully it performs well. And at the end of the day, it's all about efficiency. That's what it comes down to. Nobody really cares about the look of a console once you set it up and get going. That's irrelevant. But yeah, it is a little bit big. But hey, what? Give it 2 or 3 years, and guess what? I'm pretty sure we're going to see a PlayStation 5 Slim of some sorts. Probably a revamped version once they get better heat sinks and all that stuff. You bet.
That's perfect. Yeah, they're going to do that.
Yeah, hopefully. And I would imagine that the PlayStation 5 Pro is already being worked on, because obviously they want to, you know, try and retain some of the power issues compared to the Series X that they're currently lacking. And obviously, you know, again, I don't know if we're going to see a mid-gen refresh very similar to what we've seen. Hopefully there's not a PlayStation 5 Pro, at least in the next couple of years. I would be really pissed if I spent $500 and then have to a year later spend $500. Hopefully that not in fact is the case. But I do want to talk about this stand. Okay, folks, so here's the thing. When you talk about the Xbox Series X or the S, you take it out of the box, you stand it vertical, you lay it horizontal, it's a solid piece of plastic. Now, I'm not saying that the PlayStation 5 isn't a solid piece of plastic. It's a heavy MF for sure. But you are reliant on whether you stand it up or lie it down on the stand being a stand that could withhold the weight of this console. And I am telling you for an absolute fact, if I was standing it up and you had small kids, I would be terrified that they were going to not only hurt themselves by getting hit by this thing or knocking it over. I'm telling you right now, it took 7+ tries to put this stand on, and it doesn't lock like they showed. I am telling you right now, and I was talking to my brother Neo Mento, and this is the best way that I can explain what I got in the box. Now, I don't think it's a fluke. I know exactly what Sony did. They cheaped out on these stands, because the one that they showed was a thick plastic, and when he turned it and it locked, it made a clicking sound. This doesn't make a clicking sound. This barely makes a sound at all. This is what it's like. And if you're an older bastard like me, you're going to understand. Back in the days, in the 80s, there was a toy, the G.I. Joe 3 3/4 figures, and they were made by Hasbro. And when you took them out of the packages, they had a double-handle battle grip that was always tight. And you put the guns in their hands, and they held tight. You put the backpacks on their backs, and they locked in tight. And you're like, okay, this is a toy. What Sony showed in the breakdown video was the G.I. Joe Hasbro figure. What they put in the box was when you went to the 99-cent store, they had the knockoff G.I. Joes, the ones that didn't hold the guns right, that had ugly faces.
Yo, G.I. Jeff?
G.I. Jeffs. That's exactly a good one. That's a good one. That's what you got in the box. You got a G.I. Jeff stand instead of the G.I. Joe stand that they showed. That's my biggest problem. And if you move this console, and here's the thing, my console, until it settled in on this shit plastic that they put in the box, was wobbly. And I'm like, oh man, I'm going to scratch my discs. This is a problem. Thankfully, that is not in fact the case. It has settled in on the plastic, and it's not moving. I will tell you this, that whole locking into place thing that they showed is a farce. If you move this console while it's horizontal, horizontal, not vertical, because vertical you're locked in with the screw, so you're good. You're good with the screw. But if you lie this thing horizontal and you accidentally bump into it, you're going to have to reset that plastic and that clip. And listen, that's just my take on it.
I don't know. I was agreeing because I didn't even try it vertically.
Dude, it's again, with the screw in place, that's great. It's not going to move, and it's probably going to. It's not going to fall over. It really weighs too much. But
yeah, because when you said wobbly, I'm like, mine wasn't because I did it live. Like I screwed it in. It was no wobbly at all.
Yeah, not wobbly for because again,
I'm 110% with you there, Boom. Horizontal is not like, I've seen a lot of people say it. It's like neither console want you to put this on its side. They want you to stand these babies up.
I can't. I just not my setup. I just can't do it.
But exactly, like some setups just don't allow it. And so like, Xbox, look, it's chunky, but when you lay it down, it's gonna, you don't have to worry about the wobble. There is wobble when you press down on the side a little bit. So I do have that same worry you do. Again, I would not have done this design if I needed to, if I couldn't lay this thing down without a stand. If I needed a stand, I wouldn't have done it, me personally. But it is what it is.
I saw who unboxed theirs like Solid Rev. They didn't even use the stand. They just laid it on the side in their setups because they had like those smaller, more, it's like one of those more condensed like setups with their old ones. So, man, some people don't use the stand, but yeah, I agree though. It's not practical.
Yeah, again, it's just it's one of those things that Sony does that makes me mad as a consumer because I didn't buy the digital version because I didn't want to be locked into having to buy digital games. So I bought the $100 more version, and come on, if you're spending $500 on a console, you got to put the good quality stuff in the box. You can't cheap out on something that is reliant on keeping this thing from wobbling. And I think that's what they did. That's my only bad check mark other than the way it looks. But let's get Dreadpool. I hear music in the background. Somebody playing music?
I think somebody's playing Astrobot.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, I got good ears.
Okay, there you go. So Dreadpool, let's.
My PS5's out for delivery. He's celebrating.
Yeah. Well, listen. At this point, everyone should be celebrating that you got one if you're able to find one for sure. Dreadpool, what are your thoughts on the opinions so far? Again, you don't have a PlayStation 5, but listen, I'm not here trying to do this to get clicks. I'm telling the truth because people need to know this. The stand is shit. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, no, it's still a concern. I mean, whether you're a current owner or future owner, it's still something to be wary of, and for those that have disc-based games, we already know what happens when you shake it a little bit, so if you're putting it in or trying to get up and to push the button to eject, you know what I mean? Just God forbid a kid comes by, for those that have little ones and they just go smacking it while you're playing the game, there goes that game. But yeah, I kind of saw the lay down and I was like, I can deal with that, but I wasn't sure even with the clicking. When I first saw the breakdown, they showed that I was concerned that the clicking wasn't going to be enough to secure it in place. You know what I mean? Like if you wanted to, you could put a little bit of pressure on it, grab it each side, and then just pull it towards you, and it would the base would stay there, and you'd have the PlayStation in hand.
Yep.
So that was my concern from the get-go. I didn't think that the video actually showed it clicking in, like literally to hold on for dear life. I think it was a spot that it latched onto, but not like a secure latching. So it just shows how we all see things differently. But yet you physically have it in your hand, so you're actually able to see and test out my ideas and theories. But yeah, when it lays on its side, I kind of thought it was kind of like a UFO wobble. And that's why earlier when we were talking about the side plates, I was thinking like a silver a shiny silver would be really cool to lay it down like that and you'd be like, "There's my UFO." But it's I don't know, man. It's great that you can stand it vertically and it's very secure. And it's odd. Normally, right? You always think that, oh, we're going to stand it vertically. It's less secure, that it's you had to worry about it falling over. And now it seems like it's quite the opposite.
Yeah, no. I don't know how they're going to fix this. If it's going to be an issue, like I said, as long as you don't move it, you should be good. But I don't know. Nukem, let's get your opinion on this. Again, you don't have a PlayStation 5, but I'm interested to know, do you have any concerns with lying down your console as opposed to standing up? Because again, standing up, no problem with the screw. It's locked in.
Right.
But lying it down, man, if you move that console, you're scratching a disc.
Yeah, that would kind of suck. A lot of these stands I'm not really a big fan of. That sort of thing, and I don't know, like you're saying, it's different from the run they showed off first. I can't weigh in on it a lot because I don't have one. Did it come in the box with the stand on it, or did you have to attach it?
No, you had to attach it.
Okay, so the digital edition does or doesn't come with one?
Yeah, I know they both come with a stand. They're digital and physical.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But yeah,
I like I said, I'm gonna have to kind of steer clear just because I don't have one. I don't know what it feels like. I don't know if there's a wobble or that sort of thing. So I can't comment on what I don't know. I mean, I like the stand. I like the idea of the stand, I guess you could say. Like I think if I had the PlayStation based on its design, I would like to have it vertically because I think it looks a lot cooler up straight as opposed to down on its side. But yeah, I don't need any disc scratching, and thank God Blu-rays are a lot less hard to scratch than the old DVD format. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, again, you can't. You obviously you can only say what you're hearing from us. But listen, what I want to do is I want to get into some of the positive aspects of the PlayStation 5, and I want to start with, of course, the UI. Now, this is one of the things that they showed off, and a lot of people were like, wow, it's slick. I am going to tell you that the UI is fantastic. It's very quick. It's again, do I care whether it's in 4K or in 1440p or 900p? I don't give a shit really, but it does do what it needs to do. It is quick. Everything is available for you right on the screen. They've simplified everything. Joe, let's get your opinion on the UI. What do you think?
Yeah. Also, sorry about the music. Can you hear me?
Super loud.
Did it fix or?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes with the program, sometimes like the audio just shoots up. It's weird. Yeah, sorry about that, by the way, because my Elgato keeps crashing. So I was trying to do like some type of system fix on the end.
Joe, I highly recommend you upgrade to the AverMedia 4K. I broke that in for the stream for Spider-Man, everything when I unboxed this PS5. That is the go-to capture. I'm telling you right now. Get AverMedia.
Because my problem is I think I chose the wrong program because I don't think I have the 4K card. So it kept crashing. So like that's why I was
I just get a 4K one. Trust me. Go with AverMedia. It's
I can go.
AverMedia. All right.
AverMedia.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was just like, that would suck though because I only bought it a year ago. Anyway, when it comes to the UI though, when it comes to the UI of the system, it is super fast. Like right now, I think the coolest thing about it is when you press the PlayStation button, you get control. What is it? Control center. That's what it's called. And right off the bat, like the one issue that I always had with the PlayStation 4 UI was just doing simple things took like a couple of menus to get through. And Control Center is literally, you just press the PlayStation button and you have your notifications and you tap it and you could just set it immediately to do not disturb. You have your game base, which is all your party chats that you're a part of. Music, so if you have it like linked up to your Spotify, which you should own Spotify, your downloads, your sound, you can literally just switch HDMI. You could switch like the sound output on the fly. Even the microphone you could do on the fly really easily, just straight from Control Center. And then when you get to the the home screen itself, the thing that actually really impressed me the most, because I want to make sure I'm speaking correctly here. The games, when you're selecting a game, it switches immediately to the game that you're playing, like to the game menu. There's no like weird popping like in the PlayStation 4. Plays the music, and then when you go down, you see the official news, and then you see all the broadcasts again without any pop-in. The coolest thing for me is, and I think the biggest improvement from PS5 to from PS4 to PS5 is the media app. The media app is straight up. It's very reminiscent, if anybody has an Apple TV, of how the Apple TV app works, where it has all the major players and all their TV shows that they have and what's popular on their brand. And even PlayStation does it even better because they kind of just segment it to like, this is the Disney Plus, this is Hulu, this is the Apple TV, and all the, all their popular shows. Or you just want to select the app; it's right on top of the menu. So like, the menu for me, the OS in general, isn't extremely smooth. And actually, I'm lying. The biggest improvement as well is in the store. The store is baked into the console, and I never understood that when they were like, oh yeah, it's baked into the system itself. It's literally, with the PlayStation 4, it was sluggish, it was slow, it was a separate app. This is very much when you turn on your PlayStation 5, you just go down and the shop is literally right there. There is no loading whatsoever. So the example that I'm going to pick up right here would be, let's do Devil May Cry. I choose Devil May Cry, right? So let me get this right up here for you guys. Here's the store. I'm choosing it, right? Here's Devil May Cry. Bam. Everything's right there. It pops in less than a second or two. And then you get the media that you want, the pictures, the official news, the add-ons, all that stuff right there on the fly. The OS is just super fast. It's super quick. And it
did a great job with it.
Best improvement is really the system itself is opposite to the console. It's beautiful. It gets all the fat out of the way. It just gets you to what you need to do fast.
Yeah. Quit rubbing it in. I can't get it till after Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Trent.
So let's get to BitCloud. BitCloud, what are your thoughts on the OS? Obviously, this was one of the biggest. I suppose you can say that complaints, if you had complaints about the PlayStation 4, vanilla and the Pro, was how laggy, how much stuff was on the screen. It took a bit to get from one to the other, and it always seemed very cluttered. The one thing I really enjoy about the OS here is that everything is very clean. Like Joe was saying, you get to where you need to get to very quickly, and you're not confused by where to go. If you press the PlayStation button and you press down, you'll see the menu, like on your phone or any other, or even a computer. All of your choices are there. You can go home. You can shut the power off. If you go all the way to the right, you can go to the store. It's very, very accessible. What are your thoughts on it, bro? BitCloud, are you there, brother? Okay, so we will.
Okay. I'm sorry, I was talking the whole time. You didn't hear me. Okay. What I was saying was, this is by far the best menu that they personally had in a very long time. Not only is it a big welcome change to this system, I think it's probably not only just a welcome change, but it's probably the most needed change. And what they've done, they made it very friendly. It's super fast. Everything pops as well, with it being like the whole 4K, like the whole menu being in 4K and everything. Everything just looks so good. It pops everything. And man, I love that everything they've done here. I even like the fact that they've made your profile section. I don't know if y'all noticed this, y'all paid attention to this, but when you go to your profile, it's much more personalized. I noticed, right? It shows accolades that you have now, which I don't even know how you get those now, accolades on this system, but they show accolades. It shows your trophies. It shows your level. It shows your friends. Everything is like conveniently placed for you. It even gives you, and I'm glad Sony did this, so you know whether or not you want to send an invite to somebody. That was a big issue from PS4 to PS3, where you might send that person an invite because you see them online in your friends list. It shows you with customized icons now which system they are on. So if they're on PS4, it'll show a PS4. If they're on PS5, you'll see the tower look. It shows all that. The new share options are much more faster this time around. They're a lot better this time around too. You won't get that's one thing about this too. They really thought for casuals. You won't get like mixed up for this stuff. They go into great detail of every single thing when it comes to the settings and what these games can be, you know, what can be done for these games. They give you a good description of all this stuff. And to make things even better, they have like a Siri function for PS5 where the console actually talks to you and gives you all the breakdowns. So you can ask the PS5 where to go and literally it will take you there. That's cool. So they really did
not the best. I will say that the dictation on the PS5 isn't the best. Like it'll fumble some words, but if you're on the headset, at least mine, because the mic is very soft. But the mic on the controller, like I've been saying, guys, I've been cheering for this, is really good for what like you need in the moment. It'll register really well.
Yeah. I mean, again, very, very fast, very slick. We're going to get into the controller in a second because I'm going to say that is definitely, in my opinion, the best PlayStation controller to date. Even though the sticks are set up the way that they are, and they're not set up like they, you know, like the Xbox controller, I still feel I have full control. It fits in the hand very, very nicely. But we're going to get into that in a second. Dreadpool, again, you don't have the PlayStation 5, but you've seen the videos of the UI. What are your thoughts on it? Does it look tremendously different to your PlayStation 4?
It does look tremendously different. It when they first showed it off, I was really impressed with it. You know, I was still questioning some stuff because when you don't have it in hand, you don't know. It's everything. Like I said before, you're looking at it through somebody else's video.
Very nice.
So screen for you.
Yeah, and see, I like that. I like the way that the glitter and all that, it kind of pops up, and then
look at me. I'm using my webcam. I'm sorry, big time over here.
I made it bigger for you.
Nice, very
So you guys see, these are PS4 games. This is PS4. Vampire. You got Neo. You have Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Call of Duty. These are PS4 titles. Everything pops, right? So legit pops. PS4 again for Ghost of Tsushima, and also. Shout out to Rev. He confirmed that if you have the games on the external drive, you still get the benefits to PS5 if you do that. So for those of you that think you have to have this strictly on your main hard drive, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I just want to throw that out there. I forgot to throw it out there. And of course, there's mouse and everything. So
like I said, for me, being that I skipped over to PlayStation 4, even though the PlayStation 3 store was the same, it seems a lot smoother. Obviously the confusion from trying to with the navigation is a little different, but I think it's it looks a little bit more intuitive. You know what I mean? I'm hearing that there's certain settings that were kind of wanky, but until I actually have one, I won't know for myself. But I think I think I like it. It seems, like I said, more intuitive and smoother, and being that it's built in, it's definitely responsive.
Yeah, no, that's the one thing I will say. Like I said, if you know where you're going, you can get there literally in a couple of button presses, and you're ready to go. I think that's great. Trophy list is right there.
Trophy list. It's got new icons for the platinums, which Joe, you might want to upgrade that platinum. That for the trophy room. That looks dope, man.
Yeah, dude, you know what? I don't know. Like, I didn't know if I was a fan of it until now. But I'll be real. I like the trophy room trophy better. I think, you know what? I would give Cerny.
It's got your own it's got your own spin on it, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's got some flair, and I would allow Sony to borrow it for a fee.
Of course. Well, of course, absolutely. Definitely got to charge them for sure. I mean, they're a conglomerate. They can afford to pay for it. But let's get Noof Nukem. Noof, obviously, I've said again, you're holding off on the PlayStation 5, but you've seen the UI, not only in the videos, but we've had Big Cloud bring it up on the screen. For you personally, how do you feel about the UI? You think it's slick?
Yeah, well, obviously, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I think that was Sony's moniker here. They kind of had things ironed out pretty well with the PlayStation 4. You know what? And over the years since PS4 came out, they didn't go drastic on anything. I mean, it was pretty much always You know, the left, the right kind of scroll system with the blades and stuff like that. You know, it was fairly easy compared to all the iterations of Xbox that we had. And a lot of people forget as well that, you know, when the Xbox One first came out, a lot of that UI and a lot of things were basically developed around the fact that every system came packed with the Kinect, and they were expecting you to do a lot more with that via the voice activated controls and what have you. So, you know, we saw Microsoft make a lot of iterations over the years, and theirs has gotten a lot better. You know, but I think they kind of took a page out of Sony's book there. But as far as the PS5's one, it looks cleaner. It looks like it definitely runs a lot faster. I would assume that's probably a little bit in part due to the solid state drive and you know, that sort of stuff. Because you know, the PlayStation 4 one's always been decent, but it does lag at times where you can be trying to scroll and it's like it just hiccups and so forth. So from what I've seen, it looks cleaner. I like that little icon. I saw that last night when I was playing on my PS4. I could see everybody that has a PlayStation 5. I knew exactly what console they were using because it has the little logo there next to it. I thought that was awesome. That sort of thing. The trophies are refined. So, you know, they're moving in the right direction, and I'm sure we'll have more updates to come over the next while, but it definitely is awesome. I like how they have a lot of those things built into the dash now where you can click on certain games and then kind of like find other people and stuff. But I'll talk about it, I guess, more at some point when I do get my hands on a PlayStation 5, and I do intend to get one. There's no question about that. It's just a matter of when. And at this point, I just don't know if I want to go through the rigmarole of sitting around on online sites all day long, hoping and crossing my fingers that I can snag one. I might just wait till they're in stores readily available and pick one up then. But it looks good. It looks fast. It looks cleaner. Like I said, they didn't go out and completely rehaul everything. They just made it a lot more intuitive.
One critique. I just noticed it. Because I mentioned it on the show last night, and now it's kind of for certain here. It looks like you may be able to double up on some trophies, because I have Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I was playing it on PS4, and I transferred my saves over to PS5, and it says PS5 0 trophies. But then it says over here, it says like 15% trophies on PS4. So I don't know.
Either it doubles up or it just carries your progress. That's a good question, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll know, because obviously more trophies are always good. No one's going to complain about that. Before we get into the controller, I want to thank a couple of people. We have 3 super chats came in. First of all, AJ Harris drops an additional very generous $5 super chat. Says, just seeing people on Twitter that destroyed their PS5s or Xbox Series X to prove a point is honestly sad. I think there's serious mental and social issues. Listen, folks, look. Here's the thing. I don't know what is wrong with you. And I'm going to say this from a professional aspect. I'm not being facetious. I'm not being finger pointy or even trying to make a game out of it. If you feel the need to break something with force that could logistically hurt another human being, you need to speak to somebody. There's no doubt about it. I don't know why you would feel your 15 minutes of fame on YouTube is going to equate to a $500+ console, and that's something that's fun to you. If you got loot like that, good on you. But I think that you're just embarrassing yourself. And if you are that violent, if you feel the need to do that kind of damage to a sentient person or an unmovable object like a car or someone's home or a PlayStation 5 or Series X, you might want to seriously talk to somebody. I'm going to say that right now. So, yeah, thank you for the super chat, and that's very sad. That is very sad indeed. We have Goblin Gadget. He's a first time here in the chat. So, Goblin Gadget, thank you so much for not only hanging out, but he drops an outstanding, very generous $10 super chat and says this: could anyone tell me on the panel if you can game share with the PlayStation 5? Am I right in assuming that the primary console setting has been replaced but still works the same in regards to the game sharing? Thanks.
The answer is yes, you can.
Okay, excellent. Well, there you go. Thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you for the answer there, Big Cloud. And Kay Asante, a very generous friend of the show, he drops an outstanding $5 super chat and says, "Happy next generation all." Keely was overdoing it on Twitter, but Apple Watch tells you when the game is done installing. Bloodborne just finished. Very slick. Yeah, that is actually kind of cool. I don't have an Apple Watch. I have a Samsung, and I'm never buying Apple.
I don't know if any of you guys caught on to that in the chat, but I was showing everybody how fast it is to jump to a game. But Joe, what's your PSN? I will show you how fast it is to add people too.
Oh, dude, my PSN's my name, Mr. Badbit.
Mr. Babbitt? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. But listen. So let's get to the controller. Let's get to what is actually important in the conversation and what you're going to be spending the next couple of years using. One thing about controllers, we know that they don't really do iterations per se outside of the original launch of the console. The PlayStation 4 controller, well, it was the PlayStation 4 controller, which was better than the DualShock 3, which the DualShock 3 is probably the worst PlayStation controller of all time compared to, it was awful. But the PlayStation 5 controller, folks, I got to tell you. Now, listen, the other gentlemen here are going to talk about the haptic triggers. I am not terribly impressed, but that's because they just, for the games I am playing, I don't necessarily need the haptic triggers. Now, will my mind change if I play God of War again? Potentially. Will my mind change if I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West? Absolutely, because that bow pull and where it gets is going to be dope. There's no doubt about it. But I do want to just comment on something that we're going to move this from PlayStation to Xbox for a second, and we're going to run right back to PlayStation. One of the biggest things that people have been saying on Twitter and other forms of social media about the Microsoft Xbox Series X and S controller is that it feels very similar to the Xbox One X or even the Elite. And folks, I got to tell you, you shouldn't use it as a detraction. That is actually a good thing. That is really, in my opinion, the perfect controller. It's a little bit smaller, and I have big hands. So I had some concerns, but it literally feels great. Now, getting back to the PlayStation 5 controller, what I like about it is bigger than the PlayStation 4 controller, and it does feel like a meatier controller in your hands. I really, really enjoy it. Now, I'm not going to be blowing on these things, which I think is okay. If that's your thing, you
doing that.
go crazy. I do like the speaker in there because they had that for the PlayStation 4. Like for instance, Sackboy kind of yelled at me for running into a wall or whatever, and then that's fine. But I actually quite enjoyed it, to be honest with you, and I think it's a very, very solid piece of tech. Joe, let's get your opinion on it. What are your thoughts on the new DualSense controller? Is it worth its weight in gold?
Man, I'll say this: when it comes to the series controller, it is an evolution of it, a slight evolution, and it feels nice. Like I do like the grips. I really like the grips,
especially on the back. The grippiness is nice,
and then like the grips on the triggers as well. It feels very nice. The DualShock is the revolution in terms of like PlayStation controllers go. Like I'm holding the DualShock, and it was a little bit, now feeling it feels really light. It does feel like a toy. This thing does feel premium.
It absolutely does.
Like
yes.
A premium piece of tech and here's the cool thing, Boom. Like if you don't like, let's just say you don't like the adaptive triggers, you can actually set the resistance to it, or you just don't have it whatsoever.
Okay.
So like that's the one really cool thing is PlayStation really wants you to play the games the way you want to play those games, and which way you like them. So like being able to set the haptic, being able to set the triggers is a really nice take. The one thing that I'm really digging from the controller is the haptic feedback. Like playing Astrobot, it's like when you see like hear the pitter patter of his little feet, you actually feel little pitter patters on the handles. Like
that's pretty cool.
When the part you guys caught me at was the spring frog little robot you use. The triggers actually feel springy, and then when you let go, it feels like you're letting go of the spring, and the haptics kind of feed into that as well. It feels really nice. Like looking what BitCloud's playing right now, Spider-Man. The thwips, like when you're web slinging through the city,
Yes, that feels good on the controller for sure.
Oh
yes.
my god, it feels like, because it feels like 10% of the trigger is like a normal trigger. Then you have that resistance, and it really makes it feel like the 10% is you extending the hand, and the other 90 is you doing the the thwip. And so like that's the cool thing about this controller is I feel like with every game it's going to feel and going to be embraced differently. This is the next gen feature. Like this is something that I'm like, I get the appeal, I get the hype, because my one thing when people were talking about this controller and raving about it, I'm like, yeah, but is it though? And I think that's what everybody's thought was. Getting it now, I get it. And I love like as well, like I love the speaker. Like the speaker.
Yeah, me too. I do like the speaker.
As long as you use it, again, Astro uses this perfectly. As long as you're utilizing it well, it's gonna enhance the experience and not be the gimmick. So it's really good. The one thing, and I think and this is my last point, the point where I was like, I'm in on this, is when I was playing Astro in the cooling level, there's like a sandstorm. And I actually felt the way it rumbles, it kind of feels like when you're in a car and like it's a hailstorm and you hear the little like dings against the windshield. That's what it kind of felt like. And even like when you go to the snow level, you hear the blowing of the wind through the microphone or through the speakers, and you're like, holy shit, this is, and you're feeling the ice cubes like the Tender tried to say. You're actually feeling them. It's a really impressive piece of tech that's really.
Do you know what kind of game I think would be absolutely wicked with this technology is imagine a new Fight Night game from EA where you're in the boxing and you're throwing a jab.
Yeah, dude.
You throw a jab and you'll feel the controller with the slight rumble, but when you go for the knockout punch, you really get the real kickback on that. You know what I mean? That would be wild, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's also wild how better BitCloud is at Spider-Man than I am.
He's rolling there.
Well, BitCloud, let's get your opinion on it, because obviously we see you moving around, and obviously the controller feels like butter in your hands, because you're moving Spider-Man around like a Sony professional.
So
for you. Is it a huge step up in regards to versus
step up? I feel it in the combat. That's why I'm moving around. Like I know Joe said, I'm better. You can feel them getting ready to hit you, Joe. If you feel real close to the controller. So before the spider sense go off, you get like a subtle little vibration, like he's about to throw a punch. So it's really, really good to give you a heads up on what you're about to do. It's really good. I'm playing this in fidelity mode. That's why I was like looking around so you guys see the ray tracing elements. But that's
what I'm playing mine in. I don't care so much for the frames per second. I want ray tracing. I want the good looking stuff. I'm a graphics whore. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Another thing that caught me off guard too is I'm glad. I didn't even think they thought that through. But did y'all know that the when you mute the controller, it actually glows up?
Yeah, it does. Yes.
I didn't even know that it did that. I didn't even know it did that. So that was cool. But it's good, man. Like when I first unboxed it, I was okay. I immediately noticed the difference just from the feel. It does have elements of a 360 controller, especially on the sides. It has those elements. But once you get more into it and you play it, you just notice that Sony kind of took concepts, right, and made it their own. And it's really, really like it's a welcome change. It's really, really welcome change.
Yeah, I agree. I'm happy with the weight and the feel. It definitely feels like a premium controller. And again, I know that Dreadpool, unfortunately, New drops a very generous $5 super chat and says this: can't even afford to destroy a PlayStation 5 or a Series X. Heck, I'm so tight right now. I'm folding toilet paper when I poop, and I'm getting stink fingers in the process. No.
You know, like comment on that, because that's kind of another kind of
coffee.
We kind of go through this every start of the gen, don't we? Where there's always some weirdo who tries to get that 15 minutes of fame by destroying.
Yes, it is ridiculous.
We got it with the PS3 and 360. They did it with the PS4, and then of course they did it with the PS5. And I'm pretty sure it's probably one of those idiots who got us pre-order, right? The little scalpers. and probably was like, okay, I can't get a buyer for 10,000, so let me just break the fuck out.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure those PlayStation Move controllers have ended up in some weird places too.
Oh, good God! Hopefully not.
Oh no!
You better like all
You
that
went
stuff
far
you buy
left.
at GameStop. Let me tell you that.
Well, if it's lighting up when it's not supposed to be lighting up, then you know there's a problem. No, again. I know you said that you had said in the chat that you were considering picking up a PlayStation 5 DualSense in advance, so you can get the get the feel of it, get the weight of it. I guess suppose get a preview before you get your console.
Yeah.
I'm actually interested to know. But what are your thoughts on the way it looks?
I love the way it looks, like even more so than the console. The console, like I said, it's a little more hit and miss, but I think I love what they did with the controller. I like the fact they have increased the size, and from everybody that I've heard talk about this so far, like I'm super stoked to pick one up and really get a chance to try it. I mean, Astrobot alone, I mean, that's a game, haptic feedback or not, people shouldn't sleep on the Astrobot series. I mean, Astrobot Rescue Mission on the PlayStation VR was also a fantastic representation of what VR could actually do when implemented properly, because that was a phenomenal game and one of the best platformers I've ever played. So to finally have this game, and it comes packed in with the PlayStation, so kudos to Sony with that. They didn't charge you $20 or $30. They wanted to give you, a decent little game to start with, and if you tighten on the budget, at least you got something to play. The controller, like I said, it looks awesome. Again, the only downside I've ever had with a lot of PlayStation controllers is the analog sticks. I like the asymmetrical way that they are on the Xbox, and I guess that's not going to change. But the triggers, they were improved with the DualShock 4. They look like they're even better, a little bit longer. I think they look a little bit wider. Am I correct than the DualShock 4?
Yeah,
a little bit better.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the analog sticks on here, they're very similar to that of the DualShock, but they're a little bit more concaved and it's a little grippier. Right. But they offer about the same resistance. These are the same analog system that they're using, so it's like with the Series X, and I'm very interested to try it out either tonight or tomorrow. I don't know how I like the analog sticks on the Series X controller, because they feel really loose to me. I don't feel the restriction of it. Where the PlayStation, if you have a DualShock and you liked how the sticks felt, this is more the same.
And the DualSense does not have the annoying light in the controller anymore, correct?
No. So what it does instead is it has these.
Doesn't come on.
Yeah, it has these lights around the touchpad, but they're not like bright lights. They're very dull, so they're not going to distract you while you're playing, or you're not going to see it on the goddamn screen when you're playing at night.
Exactly. Yeah.
Who's that?
I just hope to end off on that. The biggest thing that I hope for is that, like, outside of the launch, we will see more third parties take advantage of those features, because I feel that happens far too often in game industry in general. Is they come up with something really good and everybody rides the wave for a little while, and then all of a sudden it becomes one of those features that gets largely thrown to the background because it just either takes too much extra work to implement it in, because these things are not universally standard, right? I mean, Xbox has it to a certain degree in their controllers, I guess. We saw that they use it really well at the start of the Xbox One generation with Forza. You could really feel a lot of the feedback when you're racing, but it seemed like as time went on, less and less games were using any of the features. We saw how with the DualShock 4, some people made good use with the actual the microphone, and you'd actually hear sounds coming out, which I thought was really cool. If you're picking up a phone or something, you could literally hold it up and it would sound like you had a cell phone to your ear and little things like that. But let's hope that these third parties keep it going. Obviously, Astrobot is a good representation of the kind of tech it has and where it could go. And I mentioned earlier the EA thing with perhaps a boxing game or even a shooter where all the guns feel differently and stuff like that. And I've heard they're already starting to implement with that with some games where different types of guns that you will pick up will have a different feel, maybe a weightier feel. The bullets might have more of a velocity feel. So that would be really cool, I think, and definitely adds to the immersion. And it would certainly help if and when this controller gets combined with, say, new VR, because then you start getting more of the actual feel, not just the sight and the sound, but you'll start to get the feel, and that would be pretty good. Imagine in VR, you're like kind of getting like stabbed or something like that in a horror game, and the controller's really kind of going nuts. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. So, Dreadpool, let's get your final opinion on the controller. You don't have a PS5 yet. You are getting one. What from what you've seen and heard so far, makes you wonder if you're going to enjoy the controller?
Well, just everybody, the way that they've described how it feels in their hand. You know, it's bigger. It's been described bigger like the OG Duke. So,
ooh, I like that. And I love the Duke controller, by the way. Fight me on it. I don't care.
Trust me, I didn't mind the Duke controller because, you know,
the D-pad on the Duke back in the day, because it was like the little spike thing.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with the Duke. Your hands were the problem.
No, I had big hands. That's the thing. I had big hands.
So,
no, that D-pad it hurt my hand at the time.
Yeah. It's like, just one of those things. Once I get it in my hand, I'll know better. But from what I hear, it just seems like they put more thought into it versus just all right, here's your next generation, move on. You know what I mean? So I can't wait to actually play these games. I mean, I'm still jelly here that I'm watching BitCloud play.
Yeah, it looks stunning. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's like
that's all in the capture card. So
yeah.
Well, you know what? Let's move this conversation into one of the most important aspects of gaming, and that's the games. And they launched with, you know, they have the Assassin's Creed, right? You can play Assassin's Creed, you can play Yakuza, you can play Dirt 5, you can play Valhalla, Watch Dogs. You know, I mean, the list of third-party games is there. Though it's their first-party games that Jim Ryan said that this was the best launch in the history of PlayStation. Those are his words, folks. Mm-hmm. And in this launch, you got 5 first-party games. Now, granted, depending on who you ask, the biggest of the bunch would be, of course, Spider-Man Miles Morales. That is a big one from Insomniac Games. Of course, you have Demon Souls, which is a remake from Blue Point, which is incredible. If you are a Demon Souls or Dark Souls or a Bloodborne kind of a player, or even a Sekiro, this is going to be something that you're going to want to get day one. But the 3 of the smaller titles seem to be all platform based, and one of which is Bug Snacks. My time, I've only spent about an hour with it. It is a game that I'm going to maybe go back to one other time just to see how far I can get. I was expecting, because I heard I read different reviews. People say, "Oh, it's absolutely charming," and this, that, and the third. And I got to be honest with you, I didn't find it charming. I find it to be,
really?
Yeah, it was okay. Again, it's not taking advantage of the PlayStation 5's power at all. It is clearly a PlayStation.
The song takes advantage of it.
Yeah, well,
it's Bugs.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll say this again. It's lighthearted. It's not meant to tell a typical Sony story-driven, adult-themed game. So you take it for what it's worth. I will say I'm glad I didn't pay for it. I'm glad that Sony decided to give it away for free to PlayStation Plus members. I think that your kids potentially might like it. I think that if you are a fan of Viva Pinata, you might find some solace in this game. Again, it's weird. It's very, very strange. I'm
actually on the complete opposite of the spectrum.
Okay, no, we'll get to your opinion on it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and of course, again, the 5 games, of course, included Demon Souls, Spider-Man, Bug Snacks, Astrobot, which comes preloaded on the console, which a lot of people are enjoying, and the one game that many people probably passed over that I'm enjoying because I like platformers is Sackboy. It is what you would expect. It reminds me of Mario 3D World, where it's not just a plain 2D backdrop that you're running on. You're literally running on a playing field where you can go in and out of the depth of the actual board. It has levels to the board, lots of secrets to find. I'm only on the 2nd level, but I replayed the first level multiple times to get all the secrets, and I got a silver trophy for it, which I'm happy about. I wanted to get all the find everything on a particular board. I like platformers, so it's definitely for me. The highlight for me of my launch is of course, Spider-Man Miles Morales. I'm not a Souls dude, but so far I'm playing. I'm only half an hour in. I haven't died yet, so that's actually a good thing. But Miles Morales is absolutely fantastic. If you enjoyed Spider-Man 2018, this is a game I highly, highly recommend that you get for your launch console. Joe, out of the 5 of games, obviously we know Miles Morales means something to you personally, which is awesome. I mean, there's a personal story behind that, but of the 5 games, what rings your bell, and what from 1 to 5, what's the top and the back end of the games?
So yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to Bugsnax. Whoa, Bugsnax. Because I do find it charming. I didn't think and you know me, I didn't think my co-host was all about it. I'm not that type of guy. Like, I don't know if I'll beat this game, real talk, but like the thing that struck me about this game is, first off, if you played Pokemon Snap, and if you have a fond memory of Pokemon Snap, that's what Bugsnax is. So right then and there, I may have sold someone. I don't know, because I loved Pokemon Snap as a kid, where the whole thing is like you're getting Pokemon to do certain things so that you could take the best picture. And here you're trying to get to do certain things to get certain Bugsnax, right? All the Bugsnax as well, they do all these cute and little adorable noises. But the thing that really struck me is actually the story itself is about these group of people that they've had some type of fallout, and you want to understand why they had this fallout, and you're trying to bring them together. It's about really trying to understand each other and where each other comes from. The cast is huge, and there's a ton of amazing voice actors in here.
The voice acting is really good. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and I was just like, holy shit! Like the Mayor Filbo, like he was getting some emotions out of me. I was like, oh my god, this is so. It's surprisingly a really well acted game. So yeah, that's that. Astro's Playroom is a game you need to play first. Once you get your PlayStation 5, it is. If you played Odyssey, it's better. Like straight up, I loved Astro's Playroom. I'm on I think I'm like halfway through the game already. It is seriously. I really much think this. I think Astro has the potential not to be of the same caliber, but to be Sony's Mario mascot for kids, because it's just such a great platformer. I know. I know. I'm saying what I'm saying. It sounds crazy, but again, get your hands on it, and you'll be like, oh, okay, I see what Joe's saying. It's a really good platformer. Played a little bit of Little Big Planet. I'm enjoying that as well. It does actually give me 3D Mario 3D World vibes, which I really dug that game. So I can't wait to get more into that. Oh shit! Also, Bugsnax, that code was provided by Young Horses. Should have said that. And I want to get sued. I don't know what happens if I don't disclose that. What's the next thing? What's the next thing I played? Shit. Oh yeah, Spider-Man Miles Morales. There you go. Fantastic.
I'm reminding you, it's on the screen.
Yeah, it's on the screen. There you go. It's freaking-tastic. I'm only 40 minutes in, and yes, I got the Spider-Verse suit, and I immediately got emotional. Like that game is just freaking-tastic. And then Demon Souls. Oh my god, the lighting, the global illumination in that game
is really good. Yeah,
is out of this world, man. Like it is so the game is stunning, and the set pieces are fantastic as well. Like my god, Blue Point. Thank God. Hopefully, you're getting purchased by Sony, because you made this game feel like a From Software game.
It did.
It's just so freaking good. And yeah, I got Call of Duty right now. That's probably the next one I'm gonna be playing, because I wanna see how a shooter feels on this controller. Really, really bad. But that's for the most part the games I've played. It's really good. Oh, also Valhalla. Code also provided. That game from PS4 to PS5. Holy shit.
What a big difference. Yeah, from same thing for the series from the Xbox One X to the Series X. It's crazy.
Yeah, the game is not just serviceable, it's good on previous gen. Like it doesn't feel like it's chugging. And then I turned it on just for a couple of minutes to get the loading down. It loads like in 4 or 5 seconds. You're in the game, and like the world just looks gorgeous. You got all the grass on screen, folks. all the grass the eye can see. So I'm really digging my experience. Even the games that are cross-gen games are feeling next gen. So like so far, I think this launch for both PlayStation and Xbox have been really good on games that are just really stellar, man. I'm digging my experience so far.
Okay, good, excellent, and good. I mean, again, obviously, that's what it's all about, right? Playing games and enjoying it. Big Claw, let's get your opinion on it. Obviously, you're enjoying Spider-Man. There's no doubt about that. But for you, out of the 5 first-party games, from front to back, what's the most impressive, and what's the one you've spent the least time with?
So I have not unboxed Demon Souls yet. I'm kind of saving that, but I can tell you right now, the game I spent the most time is right here.
Yeah.
And man, it's night and day. It's incredible, all the improvements. So I'm happy though. I'm happy. I think this is probably the best lineups compared to PS4. Remember, PS4 had like what was it? Shadowfall,
Knack,
Resogun, and Knack. This is a better lineup in general. I would say.
Nice.
Less is more, you know. And honestly, if Bug Snacks is our Knack, we're in a really good spot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a lot to like here. Again, there's some smaller titles, which again, I think that the console needs. I think that you need a platformer in there. So of course, I'm happy that Little Big Planet made its way there. I have not played Astrobot yet. I'm going to play it. It probably was the least one that was, ringing my alarm. I will get to it. I wanted to play Spider-Man for a lot of reasons. I wanted to play Demon Souls. I wanted to play, obviously, Bug Snacks to see what my opinion was going to be on it. But listen, I'll go to, of course, Noof Nukem. Noof, for you, like again, by the time you get a console, there may you might be buying it with Horizon, the Forbidden West, which is definitely a possibility. But what of the 5 first-party games you think that are like, if you were buying a PlayStation 5, you'd be playing first?
Well, obviously, I would be picking up Spider-Man Miles Morales, simply because 2018's Spider-Man was not only one of the best superhero games, but one of the best games to come out in the last few years. It was a ton of fun, great pacing, amazing graphics. This game looks to just improve on that formula, and I'm glad to hear that the average person has taken 10 hours or so to beat the game. And a lot of rumors going around when it started that it was like just a couple hours, but it seems like it's a lot more than that. And hey, more of a good thing is never a bad thing, in my opinion. So get on that. Outside of that, I'm not a big From Software kind of guy. And I know it's Bluepoint that did the Demon Souls, sort of the remake. So I'm a little hesitant on that, but it looks so damn good. It is tempting. So you never know. Maybe if I get a PlayStation 5, I'll jump in and give it a shot. We'll see. Watch a few more videos on it first. Reviews are looking good. Obviously, I'd be getting the Astrobot game. I think Sackboy, I've always really liked, what Media Molecule did with that franchise. This one, I think, is made by a different dev, but it looks like it retains, the heart and soul. I love platformers. They don't come out like they used to. And Sackboy is really good. Speaking of Sackboy, it's really funny. I went back and started playing The Order 1886 last night and didn't realize that you actually pick up Sackboy at one point in that game. It was kind of cool. I like those little throwbacks. You pick up a doll. You actually pick up the Sackboy doll on the desk. So that would be a couple of the games. Obviously, Horizon Forbidden West is one that I'm really, really looking forward to, and I would like to see how it gets utilized on the PlayStation 5. The last game was phenomenal, and it definitely pushed PS4 hardware pretty heavily. Great animation, great character, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of great stuff. And let's not count out even Gran Turismo. I'd like to jump back into that franchise. I mean, based on the video footage I've seen of that game, it's looking really, really good. So hopefully they can build on the last game and sort of bring it back to perhaps some of its former glory, so to speak. So there's a lot of great stuff to have your PlayStation fan, a lot of stuff in the pipeline. And we know there's another God of War coming. Obviously, they announced that. So that's going to be huge, but that might still be a couple of years out. But, right off the get-go, it's definitely going to be Spider-Man. And like I said, probably Sackboy and Ratchet & Clank as well when that comes out. The last game was amazing. I expect no less from the new one.
Yeah, and I agree. Ratchet & Clank, I think, is going to hit.
If I could just say one thing, Noof,
Sure.
if you like those little Easter eggs, Astro's literally full of them. And dude, the beginning sequence, like when you turn on like like the PlayStation Studios thing where you see all the characters. It's all the characters, all the first party characters, but astrobodified. It is the most adorable, funniest thing I've seen. It's charming, man. I love it.
Again, I like the little touch like that. Let's get Dreadpool's opinion on this. Dreadpool, you've seen the launch games.
They brought the Arkham vibes with this. Hope y'all know that with the suit.
Yes. Yeah. I got that as well. And again, I'm very, very. I literally just started. I'm only an hour and maybe an hour and a half into it. I cannot wait, especially when you see this. Like they're looking for me. He's got the invisible powers. But Dreadpool, for your opinion on the launch games, I mean, do you think that they hit the mark that Sony was looking for?
Well, they hit what they were looking for. They got the variety that they wanted. They didn't. I don't see any hiccup per se when it comes to that. When I was on with Noof for his what was it, the Sony
Xbox launch celebration, or
the Sony launch, whatever that we watched, I was like, oh man, Spider-Man, that's the must-have game. That's the reason to buy the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
And then we found out all the negativity behind it as time progressed. But still, I'm looking at it here. I'm like, I'm jelly right now. This is definitely one of the first games I'm going to be playing, other than
Dreadpool. You will be hooked from start to finish. I can't stop playing. It's that good.
Yeah, I mean, I can't stop watching. So it's like a good train wreck. Yeah. So, but no, and that's the thing. It's games like this, that get you hooked into it. And for me, like I said before, the back compact games are going to get me hooked too, because I haven't had a chance to play them, and I'm going to play them with the added nuances of the PlayStation 5. So it'll feel like those last gen games will have a little bit of next gen feel to them. So, but that's really it. I mean, until I get it and sit down and explore these games, it's hard to pinpoint, but I think they got a good launch lineup. They're making everybody happy. So
yeah. I mean, listen, I think there's something there for everyone. I think that if you're looking from a big release in regards to Spider-Man and Demon Souls to the small release in Astrobot being a part of the pack-in game, if you will, we don't really get those anymore. I think there's something here for everybody. I do want to say that again, I this has been a great show. The attendance was very low. I don't know if it's a Sony thing.
I'll fight them.
But
whoever didn't show up, I will fight.
Or they're too busy playing their consoles.
No, maybe. This is probably one of the lowest attended Breakfast of Booms I've ever had since starting. I don't know if it's a notification thing with YouTube. With a new YouTube, a lot of people have been complaining about their notifications not going out. And getting very, very small views. Now, again, I don't do these for views. I do this for the love of the industry. But I thought that, the excitement for a new Sony launch would be certainly a lot better.
Well, you know what? Like real talk. I like the podcast that I put up last night. Like podcast services eat that shit up. I put up the podcast on YouTube. Very bad.
Yeah.
So it's been up and down.
It's weird. It's definitely weird. But I want to thank everyone who tuned in. We did have almost 300 people, which is, again, it's low for the show because this show has gained some serious ground, and I guess maybe the audience is just not into PlayStation. I don't know what to say, but I do want to thank everybody that did tune in for this show. I want to thank the panel for being here. Of course, I want to thank the very generous super chats that came in. Again, this is Breakfast of Boom is a multi-plat show. There's been a lot of Xbox talk for sure, but I think that, come on, how do you not talk about the PlayStation 5 launch? I mean, for God's sakes, it's their direct competitor, and I think everybody here is going to want this console. And I think it can say with full authority that, again, I think everybody's going to want to own multiple consoles this generation because all three are going to have games you're going to want to play. But let's get into the outros. We get everyone out of here. Noof Nukem, let's get you out of here first. I know that you have somewhere to be after 12, and it is 2 minutes to. Thank you so much for guest appearing today. Do me a favor, brother. Tell everyone about where they can follow you on social media, but more importantly, check out what you got going on your YouTube channel.
You betcha. Boom, boom, kaboom. It's Sniff Duke. I'm leaving the room. Thanks again, Boomstick, for having me on the show. It was always a pleasure, and it's always great to hang out with Dreadpool, Mr. Badbit, BitCloud. Guys, enjoy your new consoles. It sounds like you already are, and that is good. And it looks like my Xbox is actually being delivered as we speak. So I should be here
Nice,
anytime.
dude.
Excited. So that's good because I'll at least have something new to tinker with for the weekend. Outside of that, you can find me on Gaming After Dark Tuesday nights. Looking forward to this week's show. It should be another good one. And outside of that, guys, community game night coming up this Saturday. I'm actually going to do a little old school. And yes, I'm going to get back on the PlayStation here very soon. We're going to do a little Gears of War Ultimate Edition to start things out. And then we're going to finish up with some Titanfall 2. Don't forget, Mr. Tushy is running his, which is earlier because it's in the UK time. So if you're not following Mr. Tushy, go give him a follow. Stay up to date on what's happened with the community game nights, if and when you want in on them. I know some people are already asking me about Call of Duty Cold War stuff, but look, I don't even plan on buying Cold War, so I can't do it, obviously, if I don't have the game. So, but that's about it for me, guys. It's been a phenomenal week. Thanks for letting me end it off with you, Mr. Boomstick, and I will catch you guys all soon. Cheers.
Yeah,
See
thank
you,
you so
dude.
much for being here, brother. Definitely, thank you again. Definitely appreciate that. So, Joe, let's get you on out of here.
Yeah.
You have some gaming to do. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with us again. Do me a favor, tell everyone about where they can follow you on social media, but more importantly, check out the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast.
Yeah. So again, you can check out the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast, over on Apple Podcasts, over on Spotify, Google Play, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find that show there. You can also find the video version of the Trophy Room on the Trophy Room YouTube channel, which we've done so many unboxings of PlayStation 5s the past 24 hours. It's been crazy. The coverage that's coming out of that channel is going to be a little nuts over the next coming days. So if you want more PlayStation goodness, go over to the Trophy Room YouTube channel, and you can find me over at Mr. Badbit on Twitter. I think I found the pitch. I think that's it.
There you go. I love it.
I think I found it.
love
I think that was the smoothest one.
That yes, and you know, for good reasons. Great podcast, especially if you are looking for a positive PlayStation podcast that doesn't use hate as its motivation to talking about video games. I think you're going to find something to like there. Big Cloud, you have a program coming on this afternoon. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. Do me a favor, brother. Tell everyone about where they can check you out on social media, but more importantly, check out your outstanding and potentially 10K hitting YouTube channel.
Oh, we're so close. We're so
How
close.
How close?
We are at 1 second.
Let's see.
We're at 9,440.
So well deserved. You're on the way.
We're on the way. We're up there. But yeah, this is an awesome show. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys can find me on the channel. It's RGT Podcast Friday today at 5 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be strictly the PS5 going recap. So we're going to do everything, talk about it, and go into everything we like, dislike, and et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, can't wait to get into that. Boom, thanks again for having me. Bad Bits, always a pleasure. Dreadpool, pleasure. And of course, Noof. I know Noof's trying to get his Xbox, so he dipped out, but shout out to Noof and all you guys in the chat.
I definitely appreciate you bringing it. And Dreadpool, thank you so much for hanging out with us, brother. I know you worked late last night, and obviously you still took the time to hang out with us. Hopefully you enjoyed your 2 hours. Do me a favor, brother. Tell everyone about where they can follow you on social media, what other programs you're a part, and what you got going on your YouTube channel.
Well, it's always great being here, hanging out with my brothers. So, and obviously the chat's always great to see there. On Twitter, you can find me at Dreadpool. The O's are actually zeros. YouTube, Gamertag, and still Stadia. Dreadpool, all letters, all caps. Breaking Bread with Dread. I'm actually going to meet up with Tempest Sound and Italian Clowns tomorrow to do the recording.
Dude.
As long as nothing changes, with everybody's work schedule. But we're going to have 3 of us doing that. And then shortly after that, I will have it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, So I put the link up in the chat real fast. It's anchor.fm/Dreadpool. And then from there, you can hit the other places. So if you don't want to watch it from there, you could watch it to the other platforms. Game and Beyond the Box Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Obviously, every Friday here, Breakfast with Boom at 10 a.m. And then I'm also helping out Italian Clowns with 4 Guys in Quarters when they do their interviews. And we do have one today. I saw the message at 2 p.m. I want to say 2:30 p.m.
Okay.
Eastern. So 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully, I'll see you guys there, and hopefully, I don't have any emergencies pop up between now and then.
Well,
So,
hopefully
again,
not.
thanks.
Hopefully not.
Yes. Happy gaming, everyone. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your next generation for those that got it. And I hope those that haven't, you'll be getting it soon.
Yeah, you know what? Obviously, yeah, and to that sentiment, I do hope that if you are looking for a next gen console, you can avoid some of the trials and tribulations of paying an unbelievable amount of scalper money if you can wait. If you can wait, again, befriend your local GameStop. Go in there and speak to the manager. If you shop in there, let them know that your name. Hey, my name is Jim. What I come in here all the time. This is what I'm looking for. Maybe they can give you the heads up. I mean, holding stuff is something they can't logistically do, but maybe they can give you like, hey, if you're here, this is how many we have, and you'll have the inside track. But hopefully you will get a console if you want. And of course, I want to close out the show with something that's important to me. Hopefully one day it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught me. And I think now the way the world is with hate leading just about everything, unfortunately, we need more love in this world. And he used to say, son, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, and I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone, and we'll see you next week on the newest episode of Breakfast with Boom. Take care. Enjoy gaming on whatever machine you enjoy gaming on, and be safe. Wear a freaking mask. Take care, everyone. Have a good day.